Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage. You are looking at the Sears Kenmore, the one I've been battling with to get the thread out, and we've got really old oil. The machine has sat for 30 years or more, and it is now moving. The threads are gone, we hope. However, we've still got a very stiff machine. It is moving, but it shouldn't take this much effort, and I think it's just basically dry, and the old oil has gummed up, okay? Old sewing oil, decades old oil is like glue. But I wanted to show this to you all. I found something one day. I was in a music shop of all places, and I was in there and I was just poking around, waiting for people I was with to do their thing. And I'm poking around in the aisles, and look what I found. This is the La Tromba as a brand. It's called valve oil. This is sold in a music shop, and people use this for musical instrument, for valves. I think it has to do with brass instruments or metal. And I'm like, well, what is that? It looks very thin. It has a thinner viscosity than sewing machine oil. It is actually not all oil. It has what we would call white oil, or the equivalent of sewing machine oil. But it also has some solvent in it. Now, this is not, I repeat, this is not a replacement for sewing machine oil to lubricate your machine. That is not what it's useful for. But this is a very thin oil with solvent, and what I suspect is this makes a really good cleaner oil for a sewing machine. If your sewing machine is running fine, you do not need this. Don't run out and get this and start squirting this in your machine. Say, well, maybe I need to clean it. No, you need to clean a machine when it won't move very well because it's been sitting like this one. So I will also be trying this on that other Freearm Kenmore that I own that's mine. But in the meantime, I thought it'd be worth a shot to try. So it has a nice little spout on it. So what am I going to do? We are going to take this product, and I'm not plugging the machine in it, no. We got to take our time. So I still have some good natural light today, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this, to let you see. And on the top side, I've already used that penetrant oil on the bottom. And I've already told you all, I think it stinks, and I don't really like it. This product has, there may be some, if you're sensitive, you may smell it. I don't really smell much of anything in it. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a smell, but for me, this is a lot less obtrusive than any of the penetrants I've ever used. It's not as aromatic, but again, always use your own judgment. You may open this valve oil up and you may hate it. I don't know. I can't speak for you, but just sharing with you what I've noticed. So be very careful with this. Don't pour it in there because it's very thin. We want to be very specific, right? We're going to put a little bit any place you would normally oil the machine with sewing machine oil, we're going to put where we have moving parts. Any place where metal moves against metal, okay? Now, don't get it on your sewing belt. That's definitely not going to be useful or helpful for anyone or anything. Let's see, what else am I going to do? I am going to, any parts that move against each other, metal against metal, I'm just going to put 1 or 2 drops. Again, you're not flooding this thing because it should percolate between tight machine parts because it is so thin. And again, it's not going to hurt the machine, but don't substitute your sewing machine oil for this. This is not going to be useful long term to oil your machine. All this is doing is it's kind of like putting in something like a cleaner, right? We're going to try to get it to, what are we doing? Our goal here is to get it to kind of mix in with the old oil and see if it will help clean it up, right? And again, just any place where metal moves against metal. And we'll see if it has any benefit, if it actually works. It's worth a shot. What did I pay for this? It was $10, but these days with inflation, $10 is not what it used to be, I guess. So any place, and again, don't don't go crazy with it, or you're going to end up with a big oily mess. And that's not helpful. Your machine doesn't need to be, submerged in this stuff. So I'm just going to turn the machine, and that seems to have done a little something already. A little. We're not ready for our debut. Not even close. But this is something that is. I can tell it just even now. It's just wanting to move a little bit better, and that's sure is nice to hear, huh? Let's see. Let's do this. Get some in there. I have not tried to mess with the zigzag movement yet, and I'm actually going to go underneath where you all saw me use the penetrant oils, and I'm going to go behind there, and I'm going to use this valve oil. Again, it's called valve oil. It's created and sold in music stores for people who have, go ahead and put some there too. People who have like brass instruments. If you play the trumpet, for example. Now, I don't know how this stuff is actually applied to musical instruments, and if you're thinking about, if you have a musical instrument, you may already know how to take care of it, I hope. And if you don't, you want to get advice from people who know musical instruments, and that would not be me. So do not look to me for guidance on how to do that, because I have no clue. But I thought, why not? Why can't we try this for a vintage sewing machine? You might try it on other machines, who knows? But again, what am I accomplishing here? What am I trying to accomplish? My goal is to get my machine to wake up. This is not lubricating the machine. We have not lubricated anything yet. We've added a very thin oil with solvent that hopefully is going to help things a bit, right? And you see me turning it just to kind of work it in there, okay? I'm not applying heat. Now, I don't know that this valve oil is going to be useful for something like that other Kenmore that I have, because that thing is such a rough case. I really think it's going to need something stronger. But for something like this, I thought, well, let's try. This is new for me anyway. Maybe you've seen this before. If any of you have ever used valve oil on your musical instrument, valve oil on a sewing machine, I don't know. Maybe you've done it. I've never done it, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Why not? It has some odor, I can tell, but nothing like that nasty penetrant that I was having to work with or trying to work with. So it smells a little bit like shoe polish to me. But anyway, anytime that something has an odor, again, this has some, but again, it is valve oil, and it is sold in music shops. And they may have, who knows, they may have different versions of this stuff. I don't know. I don't know how specialized it is, because I'm not a musician. But there you go. We've got some new techniques we're working on here, trying to get this machine to come to life, and we'll see what happens with it. My hope is that it will rejuvenate. I would love for that to happen. And my clients are counting on me to wake the machine up. So we'll see. We'll see how it does. But anyway, I thought I would share that with you. There you go. This is the next, plan B, plan C. So one of the things I hope you've taken away from my video series on this machine thus far is the following. It really does not, when you start with a machine, you can make assumptions that you think you know what is causing its issues. My assessment of the old oil causing issues was not incorrect. It is. In fact, this is moving now slightly easier, but it's still not ready to roll. It still needs time. We'll let this valve oil sit, let the penetrant oil from the other day sit, and eventually I am going to go back and I'll start putting in sewing machine oil and see if I can then I'll be ready to plug the machine in, let it run, not flooring it, and let it try doing this. But the great lesson is you may have more than one issue. I had and still have the issue of the old oil. The lubrication is not up to par yet, and that's why the machine is not fully ready to sew. But of course, the thread jam that I had over here, I checked my shuttle area. I always check my handwheel area, the most common areas. Looked underneath, didn't see any thread, but sure enough, there was thread here, and quite a lot. It's not common, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. And you just saw what can happen when an unusual place for a thread jam is, it decided to chew on the thread one day. Who knows? That could have happened 30 years ago. Maybe that's why the machine didn't get used, because somebody said, well, gosh, this thing was expensive. I don't want to throw it away, but I can't get it to work. Oh, the heck with it. And they put it away. So I hope all of you will take from this that don't assume that if your machine has a problem and you fix that problem, or you think you know what it is, it may have other issues. But they're not insurmountable. They're not fatal. And this machine, I'm pretty confident, will run like the wind one day. I hope so. My clients are counting on it. But anyway, even if you have years of machine overhaul experience like I do, you cannot, your assumptions are not always perfectly correct. And so you keep exploring and poking, take your flashlight, and it is never a dull moment, I guess, when you're trying to overhaul anything from the past. But it's wonderfully rewarding, and I'm fingers crossed we're going to get this Kenmore ready for its clients, and they're going to be able to actually enjoy using it. Once again, thank you all for watching. I'm going to put this video under the tools and accessories section, because that's what this is, and I will also try to maybe make some more videos along that line, and we'll talk more about tools of the trade, if you will. Thanks for watching, everybody.